This is part of a series on avoiding old-fashioned dentistry.
And very interestingly, they both have crowns on the same tooth, number 30, down here, and you both need what?
Root canal.
Unbelievable. You have a swelling, you had a swelling. And what that shows is something that's not uncommon. Let me just show you this here. Come on over my shoulder. Now this article is from the American Dental Association. There's something predictable going on here called the molar life cycle. That's why it's not a coincidence that they both need root canals after crowns. You keep getting fillings and larger amalgams, and actually the drill weakens a cusp and it breaks off. You get a crown and then a root canal, and ultimately the tooth can be lost due to an extraction. This shows that if you keep getting traditional dentistry, the drill and fill, there's a chance, not all the time, that you can lose the tooth. That's what might happen if you use 19th and 20th century dentistry. But now with 21st century space-age bonding, you can slow down, even reverse the inevitabilities of the molar life cycle.
The molar life cycle shows us the result of dentistry's change from extractions to fillings. The drill and amalgam often combine to slow natural tooth decay. Toothaches were minimized. Using traditional dentistry, life expectancy of the tooth lengthened.
Over the years, ever since I was young, I've made regular visits to the dentist and have had several crowns and root canals and multiple fillings in my molars in the back.
And then what happened to those?
They broke, and I mean, there was nothing there, nothing left to repair, so they were pulled.
Now I've already looked at the x-rays, but I see you've got a lot of crowns in here. A lot of the teeth are still good. I think the bad ones are gone and the good ones are left. And not all dentistry fails. Dentists use amalgam, gold crowns, and then porcelain, and then new root canals. We're able to keep decayed teeth in longer, postponing the ultimate extraction. But everything changed with the advent of sealants and bondings in the 1970s.
Medical Watch report, there are revolutionary changes taking place in dentistry that are not only saving Americans money, but saving our teeth as well. Broken teeth are being mended with the use of space-age plastics instead of porcelain caps or crowns. The process, called bonding...
I've had teeth filled, and they've done just what you said. They've been back in there and filled them 2 or 3 times, and then they break off, and then eventually they have to be pulled anyway.
There's another part of the story, which is the end of this life cycle of the tooth.
I'm pretty sure it started out with a lot of fillings and then a crown. But apparently it hurt still, so I went to and had a root canal done. My tooth was still bothering me for a long, long time. It wasn't very, very painful, so I let it stay for a long time. Finally, I went back to have it extracted, and the oral surgeon at the clinic said no.
So they did the root canal basically again.
The tooth has been bothering me still ever since. It still feels like a decayed tooth. And
and you still have the crown on it?
Yes. The tooth still feels like a decayed tooth. And it's just very annoying. And I could live with it, but I just feel like that it's starting to give me little headaches. And I think it just worries me that it could get into my system and make me feel bad.
You know, sometimes we just have to give up and say we can't save a bad tooth. And I know they've tried, but this is what happens to some of the techniques when you use traditional dentistry on that molar life cycle. And here we are, we end up losing the tooth that's had the crown, that's had the root canal, had 2 root canals.
Right.
So there's no 100% solution, and that's why the easiest and most conservative solution is the best, because then you have something you can go back and try another procedure that's more involved. The tooth with the crown is the white tooth. There's a hole in the middle where they've drilled through it twice to do root canals, and you can see, it's interesting, all our other teeth on the upper arch have fillings and are intact. The only tooth that's had a crown is the one we're taking out today, so this shows how traditional dentistry, a crown and then a root canal, and then another root canal, can lead to tooth loss. Doesn't happen all the time, but it definitely is a connection.
My crown fell out because there wasn't, I guess, a lot left up in there.
At the root canal?
Well, because I'm a big chicken and I was in extreme amount of pain, I ended up having the tooth pulled.
So all these teeth are crowned. The one tooth that's missing has had a crown and a root canal, and it's no longer there. Here, the metal on all these teeth are the crowns, and the only tooth which had a crown and a root canal you can't see because it's no longer here. Doesn't matter whether you get the root canal before the crown or after the crown. Losing the tooth can sometimes be the result. We're talking about the molar life cycle, and there are three catalysts which power that step by step, and you mentioned them. One is fear, another is pain, and the third is a necessary catalyst is the dentist, who cooperates and contributes to your thinking that is negative.
Started going into about 6 different teeth at the same time, and then after she was done, my bite was off.
But also, more adults today are suffering from what's called occlusal disease and bite irregularities than it used to be tooth decay. Drilling on the tooth for metal weakens the tooth, and the metal also is unforgiving, and it can break or chip other teeth. So you're right.